Fucking piece of shit. We need to get rid of computers. We need to get rid of these phones. We need to get rid of these so-called mobile hotspot modem things. Fuck them all off. We've got to get rid of all this tech. Fuck it all off. Get rid of all of it. All of it. It's all got to go. All of it. You see, I do believe that the Carrington event did happen. I want it to happen again. I want all of this stuff just being completely fucking obliterated, rendered useless, and you'll end up with a healthy society that's communicating with each other face to face, in person. We're from a feral childhood. None of this shit. Then you take into account these fucking data centers. Look at how much water these data centers are using up, taking the water away from houses, right? To the point where you should see the state of the water that a lot of the houses around these data centers. Have a look at the water, the color of the water that's coming out of their taps now. And some of the data centers they've got planned are bigger than counties. Some counties in America. And the people aren't being asked first. We need loads and loads. If we can't usher in a Carrington event, because it's not something you can ask for, really. So the next best thing is the people. It's the people. Now, I've had enough already. You know, I'm fucking ready. I'm ready. I've never been so ready to end all of this shit. But there are so many fucking mongs out there, retards out there. It's like, oh, it's all right. Swipe, swipe, swipe. It's good. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Cunts. Completely out of touch with reality. Weak. I've said before, this weak and this strong. There's no middle area. There's no middle ground. There's no grey area. There's nothing. You're either weak or you're strong. You either know what's what or you're a fucking useless cunt. And those people need to go through hell. Proper mind-bending, destroying hell for them to wake the fuck up. They do. Things need to get so unbelievably, horrifically fucking bad for these people. It'll either make them or it'll break them. Now, I've said before, if it breaks them, it breaks them. If they end up or like that, you know, people might think it's a bit insensitive, that is, Terry. No, it's not. This isn't something new that's just come out of my mouth. I've been saying for years. At least then we'll know what we've got to work with. I'm not talking about vulnerable people here. I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about grown-ass adults my age that should know better. I live on planet retard. And I want to get off. Cheers for coming back, lads. And you've obviously put the effort in to seeing if I've restarted a new live stream. And I really appreciate that, you know. But I shouldn't have to keep going through this. I shouldn't have to keep putting up with this. You know, this laptop is not a cheap, shitty little laptop. The last one was a bit crap. The one before that was all right-ish, but lost my temper with it. This is all right. And the signal that I get from this little modem thing is about 5 to 6 times stronger and better here than it is at home. So there's no reason for tech issues. None. So I don't know if you heard the last part of the live stream before I shut it down and started this one. How many live streams have you watched from other people that have had the amount of problems that I've had since I started live streaming? Then take into account the fact that I speak openly and honestly. I don't self-censor. You know, I talk about stuff that so many people refuse to talk about because they're pathetic. They're fucking pathetic. Especially the so-called truther channels out there. You're not truthers. They avoid talking about this. They avoid talking about that. They don't say this word. They don't say that word or that word or that word or that word or that word because it'll affect their fucking income from their pimp Google. I don't see anyone having problems with their live streams, but it's problem after problem after problem after problem. Since a year from Christmas gone. $17-ish months, I think, of live streams with nothing but tech problems. And some people would consider me paranoid. Not paranoid in a bad way, like I give a fuck. I don't care what these bastards think. I don't care what these people I'll never have my freedom curtailed, ever. I'll fucking die a man that's free. And they call it progress. I posted something in the post section, just hoping that someone out there would listen to it because it's nearly 3 hours long. I put it out there, but I found it really, really sad when I looked in when I wanted to, because I'd listened to nearly 3 hours of this one YouTube video, right? And it changed I don't know if it changed me. It might have made me realize, because I do think that the truth is already in all of us. We just need to realize it. We need to be reminded. It's all already there. So I was hoping that just putting it out there. But when I looked in my, I thought, I've got to share this. See if it does the same to anyone else. And I looked in my contacts list on my phone, and I was just so fucking disappointed. I was thinking, she's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. She's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. She's not going to get it. Michael will get it, I hope. Lana will get it. Rosa will get it. I could count them on one hand. I think I managed to push it out to 5 people out of loads of contacts. That was quite a moment for me, realizing where I'm at now with my mind and my growth, and realizing that there's a lot of people out there that have got a lot of catching up to do. It was quite a gutting feeling, if I'm honest. Anyway, so I don't even know if it's visible, because if the shadow banning version of YouTube is anything like the shadow banning of Facebook that I experienced 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago, if it's anything similar, if YouTube doesn't want something that I put out in a post, then it won't be shown, it won't be visible. It's the same as certain videos. I can put a video out showing you what I've just bought from the shop. 22,000 views. I start talking about viruses and the fact that all the COVID-19 never existed and everyone got jabbed for nothing. The view rate comes right down, you know. Anyway, let me catch up on the chat, and then we'll try and get back into a more balanced, get a bit more balance. Yeah. No, analog. You're right, Michael. It's just, my dream is to go back to everything being organic, including us. It's the only way. The only way forward is the way back. I live in Rich. I don't even know how to pronounce that, mate, but I'm going to give it a go. Cameas Bay. Is that in Cornwall or in Wales? It's got to be Wales, because it's the Wigger. And I hate it because, you know, where you live, it does sound, in my mind, it sounds beautiful, right? So I feel like I'm really fucking butchering the name of the place where you live. I know I am, but it's because I can't pronounce it, because none of the letters work. You know, I love English. I love the language, the written and the spoken language, but this is like another language. Cameas Bay, we have a small river running through it. Oh, so lovely. The Wiggerera. Is that the river or the place? It's dead. Yeah. If you mean society, yeah, I would agree with that. But it's not beyond retrieval. It's not. If I thought it was, I would fucking tell you. I'm a realist. They don't get more I'm sure they do, you know, but I am a very, very, very realist. And I do believe that we can turn this around. But we need less cunts. And the only way that we can get less cunts is for these people to experience extreme deprivation and suffering. Now, many of you and myself, we're prepared in as many facets of that moving forward as possible. We're prepared. We've put things in place to soften the blow, right? The vast majority of people out there haven't done that. And there's a part of me that's glad, because that's what it's going to take to bring these fuckers around. And I don't know what you heard in the retrial of the live stream, and then the fucking trial. I'm not a sadist. I'm not a horrible bastard. I'm not. I really am not. I'm the polar opposite of that. So the thought of people suffering doesn't sit well with me. But I know from suffering that it's the only way that they're going to get the shit together. Some are going to swim. Some are going to sink. Some are going to soar. The ones that sink will probably sink in a very, very, very bad way. But in order for us to gain some sort of advantage and get back to some sort of better version of normalcy, there's going to be sacrifices. This is what happens with a lifetime of programming and propaganda and indoctrination. A lifetime. Even people in their 70s and 80s. But then I do think, I genuinely believe that there are people that are more just mentally maybe immune to it all. I don't think there's many that have been untouched by the propaganda and the indoctrination and the brainwashing and the programming. I don't think there's many. I don't think there's many at all. But I do think that there are plenty out there that have some form of immunity now. That waking up process has made them almost immune to it. But we're faced with hundreds of thousands of people out there, possibly millions of people that just haven't. They're still programmed, completely programmed. And they're going to pose a massive fucking problem for a lot of us. But we can't allow that to stop us from trying to wake them up. But then, you know, I'll do me, you do you. I would swap that for the suburbs, Richard, in a heartbeat. Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. But then, why should I have to? It's crossed my mind to sell up and buy a little fucking shack in the middle of a field, because it is possible that maybe I could do that. No. I'm not giving up that house. It's a fight to the death for me. not irrational. It's not irrational. I've got a beach 200 yards. Oh my god, that way. A countryside 200 yards the other way, and we've got a shop, pub, petrol station. Sell me suburbia. Off you go. Oh my gosh, it sounds lovely. It really does. It does. You're very lucky, my friend, and you'll still have that sense of community as well, which is what a lot of places have lost. So, even, I mean, like especially your big cities, because you've got not only have you got the separation through programming and all of the aforementioned things fucking things up, you've now got shitloads of other, we're essentially a Christian country, shitloads of other religions brought into the mix, and different cultures and different creeds, and that's fucked things up even more as far as trying to create a cohesive community is concerned. Because I'm never going to agree to what's in the Quran. And that's not just the only one, I'm not going to agree to all of the disgusting stuff that's in there. And the third world and the first world coming together like that, it's never ever going to work. It's not working. So we've got all that as well getting in the way of trying to create a cohesive community, because there's too many disagreements on so many different things. Whereas where you live, from what I can tell, everyone knows everyone, while still having the same ability to be able to keep your neighbours at arm's length, so you can maintain your own privacy in your own life without people being in your face. Come here for a barbecue. No, I'm all right. Oh, he's pissed off with me. I'm not pissed off with you. I just like my own space. Keeping your neighbours at arm's length whilst being part of a community at the same time. It's the same principle for all of us. We all need to be able to stand in our own power, our own sovereignty, whilst being part of our community. But as a complete individual, not a fucking sheep, not a fucking follower. That's where we need to go. And on the current trajectory, it's not going to work. It is going to kick off. It is. And that's why we prepare. But if you've got that sort of community, Richard, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and not very common at the moment. It's open for all. Oh, you shouldn't have said that, Richard. I'm going to be down there, mate. I'll eat you out of fucking ass and home. I won't sleep in your house. Or as the Cockneys say, I won't sleep in your ass. I'll probably just make a little campfire on the beach and sleep on the beach with the girls under the stars. Unless it's pissing it down, then I'll be knocking on your door at 4 a.m. Richard, and the girls are going, whoa, 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 and you'll let us in because you won't get any sleep. We'll be there all fucking night, and then I'll say, look, I need to dry my clothes out. Then you have to sort the tumble dryer out. It's going to be a nightmare for you. You're going to wish that you hadn't said that. Right, let me catch you up. I'm so sorry. Last generation that can appreciate a non-digital life. I know. I remember when computers were brought into school, I was like, I'm not interested in this shit. Even then, you know. But I do like gadgets. I love gadgets. But I don't like this. We need to go back. We do need, the way forward is the way back. Please believe me. Thanks for coming back, Jordan. Much love, brother. 70s child and an 80s teenager. We had the best in there. We did. It was fucking brilliant. We're the connection. We're going to end up being some form of guidance moving forward for a very, very significant amount of very, very lost people. Because we've still got that connection. We've got 1 foot in organic, 1 foot in tech, literally split straight down the middle. And all of this is happening whilst it's literally split straight down the middle. You'll know when it is for your time to shine. I'm telling you, you will. That's a point. 17 at the best in the end. True. I don't know any other live stream that gets as much gremlins as yours. That's what I mean, Michael. Am I paranoid? Am I? You know, after 15, 16, 17 months of this, most live streams, because I won't adhere to holding back on this and holding back on that. You've got to have flow. Flow is so important because flow is organic. The zombies have arrived for the half-term break. I don't even know what that's in relation to, but I just loved reading it. It was so funny. Oh dear. Oh man. Oh God, where am I? I'm so far behind. Right, let me catch up first. I keep going off on a tangent. I don't consent. Oh, hello. I don't consent. I nearly went past you there. I'm so sorry because your message was very short and sweet, and much love back to you. Thanks for coming and joining us. Know that feeling, Richard. The eye zombies every time. Oh yes, right. Okay. I go out to tell someone. Yeah. The eye zombies. I've never heard that term before. I like it. Yeah. It's very. Always done that. 666. You know, a lot of people have gone too far the wrong way. They have. They're too far gone. You've got to find balance in all of this. You have. Otherwise, you'll lose your fucking head. Don't lose your head. People are going to be counting on you not losing your head. Turning off the internet is about our only hope. It's the only weapon they have. No data, no control, no profits. Sadly, a revolutionary 21st idea, but we insist on playing a 19th century war. Again, listen to that 3-hour video that I put in the post section. It'll put so many things into perspective. And again, I'm very, very, I scrutinize the fuck out of everything. So I'm thinking, was this video intended to get into the minds of people like you and me? Or is this actually very, very, very impressive philosophy on the past and the present and the future? And I arrived at the latter. So it might help balance you out a little bit on a lot of things. It's very, very interesting. I recommend, it's in the post section, it's there. And then I tagged another video onto that. No, I put 2 more. Have a look. I don't want to waffle on. Been seeing a few masked crusaders as well. Oh, they do my fucking head in. Because I'm so courteous. And I can't help it. Because I am, right? If someone wants to pull out, I can't help but flash them, but you know, and I don't mean here's my tits, or do you know like flash them like that to let them come out. Because as I'm driving, as I'm moving, as long as I'm moving, don't make me fucking stop. I flashed you 100 feet back. You're not paying attention, right? And I've pulled up, and then you're about to pull out. No. You've missed your fucking chance, you cunt. You know, pay attention. Flow. I like everything to flow. So if I'm seeing a car that wants to pull out, I'll slow down and stop all the cars behind me so that they can pull out, so that everything continues to flow. And hopefully that person I've just let out will let someone else out because it's gone in. You let me out, I'll let someone out. Flow. But the point I'm trying to make is that every now and then I'll let someone out of a junction and they'll turn around and go, thanks like that, with a face mask on in the car. I'm thinking, I wish I need to remember that fucking reg. I'll never let you out again, you cunt. You pathetic fucking cunt. Calm down, Terry. I think there's only one way out of this situation, and it's not going to be pretty. Spot on, Michael, and perfect words for it. Seeing you in your caravan reminds me of when I used to live in one for about 4 or 5 years. Fantastic. I could live in a caravan all day long. I think most of us would be happier in a caravan. Most of us. Pair of shoes for best. Trainers, wellies, hiking boots. That's it. No. Clothes as well, because obviously that would be illegal. You know, be like, check out my boots. As your cock's going like that, and they're all going, oh. Anyway, plus more communities moving into caravans. You know, you end up with a pikey community, not quite pikey, because I'm not keen on pikeys. But you would end up just like the boating community where you've got loads of people that have got barges. I went to look at so many boats. I was so close to living on one. So I got involved with a lot of people from the boating community, loads. And they had that sense of community. Pikeys have got that sense of community. And then you've got places where Richard lives, that sense of community, and a few others. Some people are lucky enough to live in cities and small towns where they've still got a sense of community on their streets, but that's very rare now. We had it as kids. We need to bring it back. Exactly what were they modeled for? Extremely profitable strategy. Terry, you're welcome to visit anytime, mate. Thank you, Richard. That's very kind. Yep, they want us to kick off to bring in more draconian measures against us. It could end badly for them, though. It could, and it's going to. One way or another, it's going to. It is going to. But how bad that has to be or is going to be is anyone's guess. But then for them to lose, it has to get incredibly bad. We've got to be realistic about this. Hello, TMV. I keep holding it's a touch screen again, but it's very sensitive. So I'll just press as I'm moving on. If I press for too long, it puts a big menu up. I can't read the anyway. Yeah, good evening to you too, TMV. Much love, and thank you for joining us. It's the most northerly town in Wales, and it was born in Walsall in the West Midlands. And so you were born in the West Midlands, and now you're living in. You won't believe how many people in Wales that are a part of our little tribe that weren't from there originally, and people in Scotland that weren't from there originally. It's lovely. I think they I think the universe has got has got plans for you. I really do, for placing you where you are. But then placing Michael where he is and placing me where I am, placing us all where we are. There's got to be a reason for that. It's not woo-woo. I don't think it is. Thank God my late father got us out of here. Right. So that's I need to read before I expand on stuff, you know. I'm a fucker for it. I do it all the time. I irritate myself. Our van life. I'm looking for a few acres to put my van on there. The government leave me alone. I'll grow my own food, make my own fuel, food, water. Yeah, exactly, van life. And you know what? I think if you, I don't know how it works. I don't, because it's not a permanent structure, so you don't need planning permission to have your home on that land. But the vast majority of places, it's got to be registered as residential before you can live on there. So you can only live on there for I think it's 9 months a year. So you've got to find somewhere else to live for 3 months. But then that's doable. It is doable. You can just fuck off down the road, park in a lay-by, and just keep going back there every day to visit. You're not staying there. There are ways. It's all about balls and money. If you were to walk into any local shop, pub, petrol station and ask, where can I find Rich with the parrot, you'd be here in 2 minutes. Right, which means anyone can find you. Me, I'd go, do you know Rich? Rich who? Rich. He's got a cock or two. Oh, no. What about a bird with a yellow haircut? Oh, that one, yeah. I'll definitely do that. I will. Yeah, it'll get her all around your village. Someone was asking for Richard because he was interested in a cock or two. Some weird gay fella was after our Richard. I had to send him off to the next village. Oh my God. Hey up, Digi, thanks for coming back, darling. Covey was a psychological test and a sociological success. Yes, it was. Regardless of how bizarre the rules were, 80% followed. Yeah, but that 20% is powerful. And then you need to try and work out how much of that 80% has woken up, because there's a big chunk of them that are part of our little tribe, and they're very switched on now. Very, very. In fact, they were switched on then at the point of rolling that sleeve up. They were switched on then. They were thinking, is this the right thing to do? By then, it was too late. You know? So that 20%, you only need 5% to create a proper, effective revolution. 5%. So that's 20% that said no. Then how much of that percentage of that 80% is now? Let's fucking have it. You know, let that sink in. But it's got to kick off. But it has to kick off organically. No Tommy Tards, no Rupert Lowe Tards. You know, we don't need any more Tards. Learn to lead yourself. Stop being a cunt. Yep, I believe it was a data gathering test run. Yep, spot on, Michael. Definitely part of it. TMV got a cool gadget the other day, a hand crank Buttermaker. That's really disgusting. I'm so sorry. The innuendos are kicking in. Let me go for a piss, and I am just going for a piss. Because that could be girls, cover your ears. That could be a term used for a cock. Oh my god. Well, I've got some turning around to do. Oh, I do apologise. It just like went on and on and on. I think up until the point I got up to go to the toilet, at that point, I think I was about 85% piss. Anyway, let me just catch up. I think I'm near the end. No, I'm not. A hand crank Buttermaker takes a while, but see, oh my god, it's a perfect comment. You know, just set me up when you come out with shit like that. But that sounds really good, mate. It does. Oh my god, I'm so far behind. Right. If anyone hasn't seen this film, please watch. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. It's what this live stream is about. I promise it will open your eyes. It's even more. Nice one, Matty. Hey, Matty, if you can email that to me, I'd really appreciate that. It sounds good. Sounds like my cup of tea. I hope I haven't met anyone, left anyone out. I'm just desperately want to catch up. Welsh lesson 1. Google the Welsh word for carrot. Oh, you know I've got to do it. What is the Welsh word for carrot?
Here is your translation. Carrot. Moron.
So the Welsh word for carrot.
Moron.
It said it even slower then. It's like, did you not hear me the first time? I'll say it a bit fucking slower for you then, you divvy cunt. Let's see if it says it even slower again.
Moron.
No. So, moron. I'm growing quite a lot of morons in my garden. And I do like to fucking chew on a fucking moron. Thanks for that, Richard. That's very kind of you, Richard. Thank you. Welsh word for carrot heart. Yeah, I didn't know that. I had no idea. I've lived and worked in Wales for about 5 years. I love Wales. I think it's beautiful. I just don't like the police. I think your police force are absolute cunts. They don't go out there solving crimes. They can't be asked. They're all out there with speed guns. Pretty much every single. You won't believe how many points I've had, and then they've kind of, times spent off my license again. All from Wales, and all on my fucking birthday. I can prove it to you. All on my birthday. I've had more unlucky birthdays than anyone I can imagine out there, to be honest. Ridiculous. Imagine having a hand. Do you know what? I think I'd make a good ninja with a good sense of humor, right? Because I'm able to laugh almost completely silently. You know, you've got a lot of people out there when they crack up, it's like, oh, that rang a bit, you know. And then you've got people that like Jimmy Carr, for example, whether that's real or not, who knows. For me, when I laugh, silent. But then I'm like that when on the occasional, you know, I cry. I'm a silent crier. Isn't that mad? A silent laugher and a silent crier. Just silent. In Wales, don't go out on our birthdays. If we have to, we take the bus. Yeah. Because, look, Wales is all about, or the police force, it's the same across the UK. The whole of the UK, the police force are policy enforcers. They're out there just to get revenue for the Crown Corporation. Revenue. That's all. They're not interested in finding your £2,000 mountain bike or who nicked your car and burnt it out. They're not interested. Not interested. They want to catch you doing 35 in a 30 zone. Or easy prey, low hanging fruit, shoplifters. Take them to court, deduct £10 a month out of their extremely low income already to go back to the Crown out of their fine from a fine, you know. One of the many issues I've got right now is people putting up and shutting up. I've got a big fucking problem with that. Just very quickly reverting back to the tough times make tough people. And we're headed towards very, very, very tough times. But yeah, the police are not there for you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you. They couldn't give a shit about you. And the police force, which used to be called the police service, now it's called the police force, and they all wear tactical gear, which just inflates their pathetic low IQ ego even more. So it turns what is essentially just a cunt into a monumental cunt. that's now got a target on their back. Funny enough, it's only 3% for a successful revolution. Yeah, but yeah, hold on. I'll read the rest. Historically, not sure that applies to. See, I need to read the rest of the comment. I fucking jump in there all the time, and it does. I do my own editing because you make a really good point there, Michelle. And Michelle, can you just give me a thumbs up to so that if I've remembered your name? I don't want to be calling you a name that you're not. I'm just terrible with names. Nothing I can do about it. But you make a very good point there that we are now living in a digital era with very, very unusual and very effective, efficient, and disturbing weaponry. But again, I'm the polar opposite of a defeatist. That no matter what they've got ready for us, there are things that we can start doing now and things that we can do then that can provide us with quite a lot of protection. So it won't balance it out enough to make it 3%, but it will definitely help. Just need enough determined people, enough pissed off people, and the only way that you're going to be able to piss people off is by making them suffer. Suffering's everything, and that's believe it or not, that's a positive thing. How can suffering be positive, Terry? Are you on acid? No. I think anyone of any substance will know exactly what I'm talking about. As long as you can make it through to the other side of suffering, you'll be a different man, a different woman, stronger. And then you get hit hard again. And you get back up and you dust yourself off. You can't get all the dust off. You can't wipe all the blood off. But you still get up. Eventually, you become stronger. And so on and so on and so on and so on. Unless you crumble. Just don't crumble. It's as simple as that. But yeah, Michelle, is it Michelle? I don't know if it's Michelle. Digi. So I agree. I agree with you. That applies to a digitally connected world where all communities are monitored, tracked, and streamed into emotional states. Yeah, but some of us have not gone down the route of having a fucking fridge that you like use the rest of the milk up, close the fridge door. Some of these fridges exist where it says, "You've run out of milk. Would you like me to order some more from Amazon or Asda or Tesco?" These fridges exist. So they can monitor what you're putting in your fridge, what you're taking out of your fridge and not putting back in there again. You've run out. You can reorder from a fucking screen on your fridge. And if that's anyone that's listening to me now, you're a bit of a cunt. So people are allowing so much invasive tech into their homes, you know, and not realizing what they're doing. That's retardation. It is. Look up an older version of the definition of retardation before the Oxford Dictionary became woke as fuck as well. just get a top up. So we're smack bang in the middle of what is a significant problem, because we've got so many people that are just digitized. They are digitized right down to, I mean, at the moment, for the vast majority of people, just wearables. When I say just wearables, I sound like I'm making that less of a problem, because that was the next level. I mean, a mobile phone, you pick it up, you put it down. Let's start working up to wearables. They're on you all the time, gathering data. Data's the new gold. And I can remember a place where I worked where they were talking about having their so I want to turn my eating down. You're turning your eating down from your phone? Like, yeah. And that was where I had my first thing from nowhere. And I gave him a little bit of a lecture. I was just saying, look, if you can control stuff like that in your home from your phone, then what's to stop someone from hacking in and being able to do that without you knowing? And I got that fluoride stare. I thought, you know what, Terry, it's not worth it. And I think even back then, I was thinking, let them learn the hard way. I think anyone that I try and warn, anyone that I try and communicate with about so many things. I mean, where the fuck do you start with someone that doesn't know anything? But I've ended up getting to a point where I've just thought, yeah, do you know what? Let them suffer. They need to suffer. Which is a terrible thing to say. But I don't mean it in a horrible way. I mean it in, it's going to either make you or it's going to break you. If it breaks you, then you weren't made for this world. You're going to die probably, and maybe come back in another time, or if you believe in that sort of thing. Who knows? Who fucking knows? I've got no idea. You know? But either way, get out of my fucking way. Get out of our way. I wonder why our Lana hasn't been on. Don't know that film. I think. Oh, it's just jumped. think you need an extra pair of hands for that. It's not my offering, though. You dirty bastard, Mike. Watch it then. Next live. Tell me if you see that already or is going to happen to this human race of people. Yeah, we're going to find out, aren't we? There is an uprising coming 100%. Oh, yeah, I totally agree. I do think that... right, I'm going to turn my phone off. I don't like being distracted. Why can't I just turn the fucking phone off? See, new phone. And it says 5G at the top instead of 4G. Not happy about that. Like I said, bring on a Carrington event or just get rid of every bit of... When they start to thrust this digital ID on you, and they're going to thrust it on you, they are. They're way behind schedule on that. Way behind. I believe that they will have wanted all of that to have been in place by the start of next year, and they're miles off that, and they know that there's so much pushback already. A lot. So even though, yeah, I might get annoyed with a lot of the fucktards out there that have got a lot of catching up to do, that need to suffer, I find it very encouraging to know that there are a lot of people that are going, I don't want this fucking digital, this digital ID shit. I don't want any of that. You can shove that up your arse. There's a lot of people. Now, you can't rely on government polls for starters, right? Have you had, like, you know, your phone ring, right? Hello, this is from the government. We're just doing a poll on this, and we just wondered if you could just help us out, give us your opinion. It's either a yes, a no, or you're indifferent. You're all right, and then the question, yes, no, indifferent. You ever had anything like that? Do you know anyone that's ever had anything like that? Because I haven't. And I'm 53 years old. So where the fuck are these polls coming from? Apart from Poland. Question everything. Starmer equals fucking hell, Richard. You're really trying to fuck me up tonight, aren't you? But I do like a challenge. Should I just try and pronounce it anyway? Kokosakaku? Or is it Kurosekaku? God. Chow Ches Chu. Chow Ches Ku. Oh, that helps, Richard. Yeah, that helps a lot. That's really fucking sorted me out. I feel better now that I can understand what that meant. There's nothing I can do about it. For some reason, I can't turn my phone off. But in my head, I'm thinking, if it's serious, they'll call me, you know? Call me. Just call me. You know, but then not everyone knows that I do this. Not everyone knows that I've had this YouTube channel. I don't tell everyone. I don't tell everyone. I don't tell everyone. I don't go, oh, I've got a YouTube channel. Yeah. Because I think one of the reasons is because they'll turn around and go, have you? Yeah, got a YouTube channel, yeah. What's it about? There's that, and there's the fact that I don't want people knowing too much about my business, and you don't want too many people knowing about yours either. For fuck's sake. Right, if this is a repeat offender, I'm going to say, I'm doing a live stream, stop messaging me, because I don't have to turn it off. I'm doing a live stream. I might take it down the bottom of the field. I would go to that length. I would. Anyone that's been watching the live streams will know that I don't like messing around with my phone, and I don't like being interrupted. I like flow. Flow is so important. It should be one of the most important things in everyone's life. Flow, because it's authentic. It's true. It's the truth. Right, where was I? Yeah, I can't pronounce that, Richard. I do apologise, mate. But I did have fun having a go. I'm sure that some of you appreciated me giving it a go. You know, there'll be people out there going like, "You can't pronounce that. Are you thick, Terry? You dumb fuck." I am. I've been looking to buy a copy of Idiocracy because I think a lot of people would benefit from watching that film. But then people that are the idiots in Idiocracy won't get the point, but some of them might, especially if they're sat next to you and you go, "Don't you think that's stupid as fuck?" And they'll go, "Yeah, it is." You go, "Have you not noticed that most people do that?" And they'll go, "Yeah. And then you go, and then you watch a bit more of it with them, and you go, "Don't you think that is stupid as fuck? Like proper stupid?" And they go, "Yeah. Have you noticed that most people are doing that?" Yeah. You could wake someone up from that film. You've got to get creative, you know. The more people's eyes you open, the more of a difference you're going to make to your own future. Oh shit. Right, okay. Oh, good night, Michelle, or Digi, or Joe, or I'm off to test the quality of my Jack Daniels. I love that. P.S. The intelligent use of knowledge might stop the miserable cycle of soul slavery. That's so beautifully put. Very beautifully put. I like that very much. And I concur. I only shop with cash. Fuck the loyalty card bullshit. Yeah, I realised that when I was going to Co-op and paying cash, and I was using my loyalty card, but they knew everything. So I'm paying with cash. I don't know why I didn't think that, you know, we all have dumb fuck moments, and I probably have more than you. So I'll stop using that. I think I knew anyway, but I carried on doing it. I don't know why. Just to shave 25 pence off the fucking bill? Letting everyone and anyone know what you're buying Not that Co-op sells 15-inch black rubber cocks. I don't have one of them, by the way. It would make me feel very inferior, and I don't like that. Cash is king. Cash has a cunt, like a bust. It's called a bust, where you see the head and the top of the neck on a coin or sort of a statue or something like that. A bust, right? So you've got the bust of a cunt on every note you have, every coin you have, going back generations and generations and generations. A cunt. A parasitic cunt. So even though cash is king, because it does provide you with some degree of privacy, right? Which is important. We're all entitled to that. All of us. It's not something that should or shouldn't be written into law. It's a fucking given. But further down the line, it might come to the point where we're going to need to find our own form of currency, form our own communities, lead by example without wanting to lead, show that there is another way outside of the slavery system, and take whatever comes our way, whatever obstacles come our way, we either go around them or smash straight through the fucking middle of them, no matter what. There's no compromise. If you compromise, that's the end of it. Hey up, Paul. I nearly missed you there, mate. I think it jumped a little bit, and again, it's my thumb. When I press on this too long, it something takes over the screen. I'm not a very I'm semi-techie, you know. I've got a semi when it comes to tech. I only shop with cash. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good night, Richie. Oh, see, and it's lovely. You know, I've never seen anything like this on a live stream. All live streams should be like this. It should be personal. Yeah, Wildcam, look, I'm ready. And I've got some extra gear as well. It's nothing dodgy. Don't worry. You'll sleep well in your tent and your fucking hammock. No problem. It's okay. But I am very, very looking forward to a wild camp. It's needed. And I've got a beautiful place. I found a perfect place. So we just need to arrange a date. It'd be nice if our Jordan could travel up and join us. Imagine that. What a mixture. What a lovely mixture. What a beautiful combination. Yeah, good night, Jordan, mate. If I've missed you, I probably have. Always up for a camp, mate. Yeah, me too. Hippie guy, what is your email, please? There it is. Michael's already on it. I'm sorry, I'm so behind. I do apologise. All good. Thanks, mate. We're off to Devon tomorrow. Yeah, just enjoy that, man. Enjoy that. Working out. Yeah, we'll sort something out. We will soon. Start of June. You know, let's not fuck about. Let's get these camps in. Cashless needs digital ID. You get that? We are all fucks. Yeah. So right. Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna have to find some other form of, again, skills, trading skills. You know, or to those that will, because there are going to be a significant amount of people that have not planned ahead. So they're going to feel forced, squeezed. There's always a choice. No matter what happens in your life, there will always be a fork in the road. There's always a choice. To those that got jabbed, there was a choice. No one pinned you down, right? To situations like what's coming now, where it's like you take this digital ID, where we will make you into a slave, or you don't. You've either prepared for it or you haven't. Now, you're going to need to make sure you've got some skill, even if it's washing cars. I know it's going to be so much more complicated for a lot more people, right? Especially if you're renting. There's a lot of cars to wash to pay that rent. But even then, you're going to need a bank account, unless your landlord is cool with you paying cash. There's loads and loads of things to take into account. It's very, very different for everyone. It's very unique to everyone else's situation. I'm aware of that. But find a fucking way. Find a way. It's very important. Because once you're in it, you're in it. You've pretty much signed a contract. This is why I say try and reach out and communicate and find other people around you that are like you. Try, you know, or at least get out into the community and do something. I've done it, and I'm not a fucking people person. Do something, you know, because you could also think you've done. Yeah, fair enough. I'll do this. That could have a ripple effect, a butterfly effect that you couldn't fucking fathom. You know, I couldn't fathom. Just by having a conversation with one person, one man, one woman for a minute could alter everything, change everything. Whoa, that was a bit deep, Terry. Calm down. But I do think we can get food. We can do so much more. You've got to think outside the box. I've been saying that for 5-6 years now. Think outside the box. Think outside the box. Think outside the box. Because anyone that's continuing to listen to me now knows how to do that. You're creative. You can do it. You can do it. Don't feel pressured. Let it come to you. Think outside the box. You'll find a way. You will. You will. Ciao, chess, cool. That's helped. Email it to me. The email was just there. Email it to me just so I can look into that. 'Cause I'm very curious now because you're determined to know what it means for me to understand what it means. And I'm curious, so curious. I'm a mechanic, and as for payment, I happily accept gold and silver. Yep. But then where do you sell that gold and silver? You've got to be thinking about that as well. So in order for me to, I've got all this gold, all this silver, kept out of the fiat currency. Now we've gone full on digital. What am I going to do with this gold and this silver? Give it to someone and get cash that no one accepts anymore? Or, yeah, we can give you a credit to your account of this amount to an account that you haven't got. These are all things you've got to think about. But still, on the current trajectory, having gold and silver and maybe copper, aluminium, or any other precious or semi-precious metal is still better than having money in the bank right now. Well, I've been saying that for the last 5-6 years. I meant it then and I mean it now. Any money you've got in the bank belongs to the bank. It doesn't belong to you. It's debt. You can go into the bank tomorrow and go, I want £1,000. And they can turn around and say, well, we're not going to give it you. And there's fuck all you can do about it. Absolutely fuck all. So learn some skills. So I get it now. I only have what you can afford to lose in the bank. Good on you, brother. And whilst you can, just whilst you can, buy what you can and as much of it as you can, and then stash it everywhere. And I can imagine there are some people that think, I watched this live stream the other night, this Rose Hippie guy, or I watched a video that this guy Rose Hippie guy put out. He's a bit over the top. I can imagine there are people out there that think that my my output is quite extreme. You know, it's like, it can't get that bad. I can imagine that there are plenty of people out there that have thought that. And I can understand why. I can understand why most people would think that. If I didn't know me and I wasn't me, I would think that. I tried that email, but it's telling me not valid. What the fuck? And do you know what? So, look. So the entire history of the live streams on this channel have been hit tech problem after tech problem constantly, right? Now my email is not working, and I was trying to contact an eBayer because I know that eggs are a very, very, very important part of our diet. Very important. They are a very, very important source of vitamin B12, for example. Now, if you've got a vitamin B12 deficiency, folic acid can fuck you up if you're very, very low in vitamin B12. Now, they're introducing folic acid into all sort of baked, you know, bread, flour, all flour. So if you want to make your own bread, it's fucking in there, right? Whilst they're taking away making organic eggs too expensive to buy. Grass-fed beef, completely out of the reach of definitely me. All of the key sources of vitamin B12 that you need is being taken away from you, whilst they're slamming fake folic acid, like artificial folic acid, into all of these staples. That's going to fuck a lot of people up, you know. How did I get onto that? Oh, I can't remember. Yes, right. So I got in touch with the cheapest seller of whole organic egg powder, freeze dried. So it keeps, it's fucking good stuff, right? The cheapest seller. To say, because they went with me a couple of times, and what now I think now is quite dire. So I wanted to approach them again, and you can personally message sellers of whatever and go, your sizing ain't very clear. Can you tell me what size this is? Or when will you be getting a size 8 foot of that in again? You know, just leaving a message to the seller. You got that option on the app. Now, for the first time, none of my messages are getting through to this seller on eBay to try and make it even cheaper by knocking 10% off the cheapest seller on eBay, knocking another 10% off based on the gravity of the channel. I've done it twice before, and not one of those messages will go through. Not one. I can show you now. All I'm saying is there's so many glitches. Why are there so many glitches? It's not normal. I look out for patterns. I see patterns. You know? I know what 1 in 100 is. I know what 1 in 1,000 is. I know what 1 in a million is. I know what it is. I'm not fucking stupid. Let me see if I can demonstrate that to you live, because it's not normal. And I've messaged other eBay sellers on the app on this particular phone, right? No problem. As soon as I want to try and do something for the people that are subscribed to the channel, with something that's healthy, with something that's going to balance them out to some degree against the incoming barrage that's being made legal for this shitty folic fucking acid to go into your fucking food, and I can't get through to them. I've even emailed them, and I've had nothing back. They would normally jump to the chance because they knew it. They've always known it will boost their you know what I mean. Right, hold on. Just please bear with me. Bear with me. Please be patient with me. Whole egg organic powdered. What do I say? Because I'll share it. It'll bring up the conversation that I can show you. But I can't remember the name of the seller. Whole organic egg powder. think this is the one. No. Because there's two, and I picked the cheapest one of the two. Right. So this is them. It's called Shoppers Planet. Feel free to screenshot that. Right. Now I'm going to type in, would you like to do do this again? Right. And you'll see it. Again, people are going to think you're a bit paranoid. You are, Terry. If you've got, you only know the tip of the iceberg. I'm the world's slowest typer. There you go. See? I can't send any messages. I can't send any. It won't accept them. Send message failed. Please try again. And I've looked into it and there's nothing around. There's no reason for it. None. So, you know, I did a video maybe a year or a couple of years ago, something like that, where I said paranoia is always seen in a very, very negative light. Always. It always has been. And in a lot of cases, it really is a very negative thing. However, I did say that paranoia can be your worst enemy, your biggest fucking nightmare, right? But it can also be one of your closest friends. You just got to trust your gut. And I'm telling you, I'm not a paranoid. I'm not some sort of paranoid nut job. I think you've known me long enough to know that. But look at the statistics. Look at all of these things. You tie them all together, you know, in a channel where I don't hold back because I believe in the truth. I've never self-censored. I've got a very fuck you attitude. And because of that, but then why would YouTube then allow the channel to grow by like something like 600-700 people in the space of a couple of months over me going to the shop and buying food, knowing what the channel is all about, because they wouldn't know. Again, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's just bad luck. Anyway. Who knows? I've got a little bit of catching up to do here. And now I can't scroll. He won't even let me scroll. Right, now I'm going to try and scroll. Right. Right. Now it's working. Couldn't make this shit up. Oh, and I'm just making myself look stranger and stranger and more unbelievable, which is again another one. Oh no. midweek for me, quiet piece. Yeah, I did say to Michael midweek, because that spot is becoming more and more sought after. Our previous wild camp places were very popular. They've always been popular. This, people are starting to push the luck a little bit because it's a bit risky, you know. But midweek would be better because we'll have a better chance of getting a pitch. But even then, yeah, you have to see the spot. You don't need to worry about that. But that I've got a spot for us. You'll love it. You'll love it. But midweek would be better. Please don't show us your gear, mate. I'm sensitive. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. It'll be 4 o'clock in the about 4 o'clock in the morning, Mike, when you're in your hammock. That's it. And that's it. You'll just be very startled. You'll use the term startled at my gear. 20, 30 years from now, you'll still use the word startled because it will be a word that will help you cope better, you know. If cash is king, community is queen. Oh, I love that. I fucking love that. That's another potential t-shirt. That is. It really is. It's beautiful. Any luck with the email? Yeah, I need to catch up. It's the first elected leader of Romania by December 1989. The population had enough of him. Exactly. And that was that recent. So let that sink in. They dragged him into the backyard and shot him, hence Starmerk. Oh, right. Okay, right. I've got some context now. Fucking hell. I was really suffering there, mate. The gold will always be accepted all over the world. Yes, it will. It will. But then, oh man, I could write an essay or I could go off on a tangent in regards to the future of gold and silver from anyone that's trying to operate outside the system. It's going to be challenging. So get what you can whilst you can, and then whatever you've got left over, you know, you're still going to have that buffer zone that's going to give you enough time to figure something out. Humans will always find a way around. They'll always find a way. Always, without fail. Because if they didn't, we wouldn't be here now. It's as simple as that. But yeah, I agree. It's always going to be a currency, but there's also a lot of pretend silver out there because of fucking retards, proper fucking retards. I just bought myself a whole ounce of silver for £10. You know, that's one, that's two, that's 75, that's 100, that's 150 that I bought over the 6 months. That's now going to be going into, you know, all of the rest of the Britannias and the Kookaburras and the Maples because of retards not having any common sense. So there's going to be a lot of fake silver going around. You're going to need to keep on your toes. But again, it's going to be about trying to operate within your own community with gold and silver. Going around to Mavis, next door but one, to say, can I have some food? I'll give you the silver. That she's going to be thinking, I'm on rations because I'm on a digital thing. Where are you going to take your gold? Where are you going to take your silver? Who's going to accept it? And what are you going to get in return that's going to be fair to the value of your gold and your silver? These are things that we've really got to be thinking about. There will be some sort of overground, I don't know where that came from. you only need to look at the German mark, for example, right? So that lost, you know, you could have wheelbarrows of notes worth fuck all, and there was another currency introduced that worked. The Bradbury pound, another one. That's another one that worked. There are so many different models out there that so many people aren't paying any fucking attention to whatsoever that could get us through this. But on a parallel society initially basis. We've got to find ways around it, you know, because they're going to know that a significant amount of people are going to go, nah. Some are going to be sort of like the battleground to be swayed, and then they're going to be the NPC tards out there that are beyond reach. But again, how do you know until you press that right switch, whether or not someone's a proper NPC? You know, some people can wake up right at the last minute, take their first big breath of reality. So I struggle to give up on everyone, because I don't know who the real NPCs are. I don't know, because I've been surprised so many times. Like, yeah, you're not with it. 2 minutes into the conversation, fuck me, you know. And I thought I was fairly switched on. You've just fucking blown me out of the water. 2 minutes. Again, it's dialogue. People just aren't talking enough. You don't know if someone's switched on or off, and on or not until they start to talk to you. You've got to have a conversation, and things like this have got in the way. Things like this, you know. I'm talking to 19 people that are missing out on 90% of me, and I'm missing out on 90% of you because of technology. It's not good. It's not what but again, awareness is key. Do you know what? I've got loads of my own homegrown tobacco in this, and because I've like snapped it off leaves that have been growing in my kitchen, I think I did a bit of a video on that. It can, you know, you can get hairs landing on the leaves. I don't know if that's how it happens, but that's, you know. But so those leaves have been then cured and made into tobacco, which is what I'm smoking. And I'm finding I'm pulling a lot of dog hairs out because the plants were quite low to the ground, so the dog's been moving around, running around, chasing after each other and stuff. That I think that the average cigarette that I've been smoking recently is probably about, I don't know, 5% hair. I don't think burnt hair is a potential worrisome carcinogen. So, and I can't smell it or taste it. So I don't know why I've just made a big fucking fuss out of it. It won't let me go. Oh, it's let me. Oh, it's okay. Go on. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think. Sorry, my fault. I don't think really know how to send emails, but hopefully went to right email. I'll find out, mate. I would. Whenever anyone emails me, I might not get back to you straight away, but I will get back to you. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Always. I started baking my own bread a couple of years ago to avoid the additives in shop bread. Now they're poisoning flour. I know that's why, Michael. You saw that video I did. You know, I bought a lot of fucking flour before that folic acid was in there. But that wasn't because I had some sort of premonition that they were going to, or did I? Weirder things have happened, man. But at the time, it was just that I knew how to make flatbread, and I didn't. Once I bought this bread maker, I never wanted to go back to shop bought bread again because I saw how many fucking numbers. I saw the list on a loaf of bread. That was it. I was put off. That was like me going the last time I went to a public swimming baths, and I saw one guy doing a butterfly stroke, spitting water out. Then I saw some kid roll up right next to me with snot dripping out the nose. And then I'm looking around, looking at all these other kids. I'm thinking, there's piss and fecal particles and fuck. What the fuck? I felt like I was in a soup of disgustingness. That's the last time I used a swimming pool, a public swimming pool. Because I had that everything came together all at once, and I was like, what the fuck? I got out of there, showered until I was right almost down to my bone. So I think it was probably more of a moment where I thought, right, I need to get a lot of flour in. I know how little flour is required really to make flatbreads. And I knew that it was going to get expensive, and I knew that flour is a very heavily sprayed crop as well. I've just bought a shitload of I think there's certain things I can tell you about my prepping and things that I need to hold back. So sometimes I need to just like, is that all right? Yeah, that's fine. So I'm in the market for buying a mill, a hand, a manual mill for flour. And I've just bought a couple of kilos of pearl barley in, organic. Wasn't cheap. I didn't get as much for my money as because when it says a kilo, you think, yeah, a kilo is that's quite a lot, When it arrives, you're like, fucking hell, that's not much, is it? And I've got barley. I'll do a little walkthrough because I'll do a walkthrough of the garden and show you I've not planted them. It's just there, But if you can grow enough, you can make your own bread. But the average garden's nowhere near big enough. And it's such a recognizable crop that if you guerrilla garden something like that, people will notice. They will. Have you got a light boy? What was that from? Have you got a light boy? So but yeah, so my bread maker will still make dough, but it won't bake it properly. I need to learn how to make my own dough, learn to knead properly. I think we all need to get back to doing stuff like that. I do. But the problem that a lot of people have got now that I'm not going to have for a while, because I bought a lot of flour at the right time, just randomly. I think it's going to be made into regulations by December, either November or December. So, but I'm not sure if that's when they've got to start making sure that it's on the label. They don't have to put it on the label after that, because they're already putting folic acid in pretty much everything. And one of the main reasons is they reckon that it reduces the chances of an unborn child having spina bifida. So you look at that, think about that one thing, right? And that's their excuse for doing it, to reduce the chances of your child having spina bifida. Then do a quick search into how many people per million are born with spina bifida. And you're thinking, what the fuck? It's the same with how many children die of the measles. Yet there's the new terminology of that. So why do we need folic acid in our flour when it's going to do more damage than good? Everyone should be so suspicious if anyone's listening that isn't, that's just happened across the live stream. Ask yourself these questions. But yeah, anyway, Michael, sorry, I'm after a grinder because I'm getting loads of pearl barley and I would like to make my own flour, and I think this is a route that a lot of people maybe should consider. It's not going to be practical, it's not going to be cheap initially, but it's you can't put a price on your health. You really can't. You're priceless. Digital, unfortunately, is everything in your bank already. Evil people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they want your money, you can't take it back. You're again, and your sweat gives it value. We need to find our own way. Hello, Super Lily Lou. Nobody wants 100% of me. I'm crazy. Even got the paperwork to prove it. I want to see evidence of that, Super Lily Lou. I want to see evidence. Email it to me. But there is a part of me at the pit of my stomach that believes you, and I like it. Gold basically holds your wealth. Yes, it does. Not the banks and I know, but it's about how to pass it on when you need to unlock that wealth, to use that wealth. That's the problem. I've actually got a stockpile of British Army 24-hour ORPs. What are ORPs? I feel like I should know what that means. Is that like British Army, like retired elderly gentlemen? So British Army OAPs, but that wouldn't make any sense. If you've got a stockpile of old age pensioners, that's really fucked up and sick. So that can't be right. I need you to verify what you're talking about, because I've just made myself sound creepy. Yeah, I've got stores of flour, but need to buy in wheat kernels for when it runs out. Yeah, that's sort of my plan as well, mate. Camper plus solar plus inverter plus split charger, diesel eater equals security. It does, but it doesn't. Again, that diesel, it's about keeping yourself warm. If they fuck the system up with diesel, because what they're doing now is they're making different different types of diesel, different types of petrol. So there's more kerosene going in there. Is it kerosene? Is that right? But faster burning. So when you put, say it was £1 a litre, you know, back in the good days, and then it went up to £2 a litre, you would still know that you were paying £2 a litre. At least you know what you're getting for a litre, or at least you hope you do, right? So if they put an additive in that diesel and in that petrol that makes it burn quicker, then you're still seeing £2 a litre before you pay for it. You're still agreeing to pay that price. Always a choice. But if they start putting additives in there that burns it quicker, you're going to the petrol station more and more and more and more until you just can't afford diesel anymore or petrol. Just saying, it might be worth stocking up on vegetable oil, you know. Needs a bit of recommissioning. That's my Bugatti vehicle. That sounds good. That sounds good, Richard. Yeah, I've got stores of flour, but need to buy in wheat kernels for what? Yeah, me too. Mate, I'm trying to catch up now. I'm so sorry. I say sorry a lot. Yeah, I've got solar, but then you want to try and keep your home as grey as possible and as normal as possible in some ways to lure them in, so you don't have that problem further down the line. That's a darker subject that I could go into. 2 good pocketbooks are food for free. I've recommended that for years. It's one of the best books anyone could buy. I've got a copy. In fact, that's what it looks like. So I've got a copy here, and I've got a copy at home by Collins. So anyone new to the idea of prepping, anyone that thinks that people like us are lunatics, buy this book. Give yourself another avenue, because anyone that's maybe looking or listening to the live stream now has probably got about a week's worth of food. If that just suddenly disappears, if you've got some knowledge of the food that's around where you live, especially nettles, then you're ahead of everyone else. You can feed your family for longer than everyone else because you've got a knowledge that no one else has got, because of that one book that will cost you about £4 delivered. This box is going through me like a Porsche. Every single sane man and woman should be preparing right now. There are so many indicators everywhere that are showing us that we are approaching some sort of crisis. Now, all it takes is common sense and minimal observation to be able to see what's fucking happening. If you can't see that, you're a fucking moron. And I hope that offends you into starting to see what we see. Oh, where was I? Operational ration packs. Yeah, I've got a few of them. Heaters front on any oil. Does he really? Oh, I didn't know that. And I've got quite a little selection, mate. I didn't know that, and I'm going to need to start looking into that. If you can, maybe even email me some information on that, because I didn't know that. But then thinking about it, I have been saying that you can run a diesel vehicle off vegetable oil. But I didn't think about it with the heaters. So I've been discouraging people from buying vegetable oil for God knows how long now, saying what it is. It's an industrial waste product. That's what it is. And they're packaging it up with little pretty pictures of sunflowers on it and going, here you are, cook your eggs in that. You'll be all right. When it's actually got a really good use. So thank you for that, Richard. I did reply earlier, but my comment didn't disappear. It was no problem. Did or didn't? There's loads of fuckery going on. You can make flour from chickpeas, almonds, red lentils, and whole. I posted something in the post section of making bread from chickpeas and red lentils. Few of the little ingredients, but I tell you what, it looked the dog's bollocks, and it got my attention. It got my attention so much that I posted it on the post section. So go and have a look at that. But yeah, you spot on there, Super Lily Lou. There's loads of options, loads. But you've got to be able to be. Again, I'm going to do a video on cooking and stuff like that. Yeah, different stoves, and but you've got to be able to cook it, you know, unless it's, again, even with just something as simple as flatbread, you've got to be able to cook it. You've got to make it. You can't just go, right, I've got all the ingredients in my hands. As you can see, some of it's dribbling between my fingers. I'm ready to make this into bread. When there's just like tumbleweeds and nothing. Because you've got no means to fucking cook it and turn it into bread. So I think for new preppers, I think I'm going to need to put out quite a very comprehensive video, probably a 30-minute job. Again, I don't edit, so I've not seen that many people do a 30-minute prep video without editing. This is why I get disappointed so much with people that are aiming to try and help and not help without some sort of financial reward. Oh, you don't look very comfortable, darling. So yeah, this is out of all the stoves, all of the methods. I've even cooked on a hobo stove that you can make from one can, a discarded can, tin of tomatoes, you know, have it, and then rinse it out, have it. You're left with an empty can. You can turn that can into a stove and cook food, make flatbreads. Well, this is the only stove that I own out of about 10, maybe more. There's probably more, but some are duplicates, so they don't count. So 10 different stoves. This is the only one I've never used until, that's why I brought it away, so I can have a go on it, you know. So basically, you just put it on the floor, set the plastic on fire, and just hold a fucking pan over the top of it. Okay, now made me look so weak. Little gun. Wait till the end of this live stream. I'm going to destroy you, box. You little cunt. So this is it. I've never used it. And it's not particularly light. That's the only downside to it. But I do think it's pretty robust. So I'm going to be trying this out. Yeah, I've not quite figured it out. It's the first time I've properly had it out of the box. Pardon the phrase. But it's designed to go with one of those like gas canisters that you just put into one of those bog standard stove things. But it has got an automatic no, it hasn't got an automatic igniter on there. That's weird. Yeah, it has. It has. Right, I didn't know that. Again, first time I got it out of the box. Only came a couple of days ago. But I've always got a ferrous rod with every single one of my stoves. So a stove is nothing. Again, I'm still glad I don't edit, because you get to see all the fuck ups. A stove is nothing. It's worth nothing. It's a paperweight if it won't light. You've got to have that spark. So I've got a ferrous rod with every single one of my stoves. I've got ferrous rods everywhere because they're so cheap. But all of the materials that are used to make a ferrous rod are becoming more and more difficult to obtain, which is going to send the price of them up and up and up and up when they were really, really, really cheap. So I do strongly suggest that you get some in if you've not got any already, you know, because it's a guaranteed spark. Paul, Michael, me, Jordan will know how to make a fire from scratch just using a ferrous rod and getting the right materials together. Just very basic bushcraft. But we know how to use, we'll all know how to use ferrous rods. They're really, really cheap at the moment. So buy them whilst they're cheap. They're completely waterproof. It can be pissing it down and you'll still get a spark. It's a modern day flint and they're cheap. So yeah, that was a long-winded way of saying, yeah, it's great to be able to have enough flour to make flatbreads, but you've got to be able to cook those flatbreads right around the houses. Yeah, well, I've got. Yeah, it's probably a good book. I didn't even know that, Paul. In regards to herbs and healing plants, but I've got about 4 or 5 very, very highly recommended books on that stuff. I was looking earlier for a medication herbs book. Yeah, I can email you some good suggestions that I've looked into, and I thought, actually, yeah, fair enough, yeah. Replied earlier, but you asked first time, and something is. Where am I? Just filter it and add a little paraffin. I've got a lot of paraffin now. Paraffin's a good thing to be holding on to. It really is, because that and biofuel, very clean. On a diesel heater, once the glow plug gets to combustion point, any fuel will burn. It runs more like an air fryer. It creates. Okay, now, man. Hey, I'll tell you what, Richard. Welcome to the tribe. This is some good shit, man. It really is. This is really, really, really good stuff. got a dash. Oh, and he's probably missed that because I'm so far behind. The cockatoo will be. It's one of those names, you know. I can't help it. We'll be waiting, wanting his coffee and toast by 7 a.m. Great stream. Catch up soon. See you in the deepest, darkest well soon. Much love, Richard. Much love. Birds are so demanding, not so delightful. Yeah, they are. They're lovely. Look up. Yeah, that is. Oh, man. Do you know what? On the drive here, once I got past Cunt, everything else was all right. I was listening to some drum and bass in the car, and but obviously I want to feel it shaking through my chest. But I've got my girls that have got an average of between 5 and 7 times the sensitivity of hearing that we have. So I couldn't listen to the drum and bass on that level, but I still wanted to feel the pleasantry of it. You know, I love drum and bass. So apart from that knobhead, that was dealt with nicely and peacefully. The rest was gravy until I started to see the crisscrossing in the skies, even over here. The best advice anyone can give anyone right now is very straightforward, very simple, very catchy, very easy to remember, non-invasive, non-offensive, just simple. Look up. Fly spray. Fly. Optimus Polaris Tactical Stove. Fucking hell, van life. You've made me look like a right cunt. I'm going, look at my new stove. This is so nice. It's heavy, but it's strong. I don't know how to use it. And now we've got a professor of stoves. I did try my best, mate, you know, but I couldn't really sell it because I've not used it. I can't sell it to you. I can't go, this is really good. It's really amazing. It'll cook your dinner in 2 seconds, even though I only pointed once, just to confuse you, to add to the mystery of the stove. I couldn't do it because I've never tried it. It just looks good, and I do have a lot of belief in it. But I've heard of Optimus, and I know that they do carry a very, very, very good reputation. Stoves made by them are used, you know, in at Mount Everest, where you've got very, very low levels of oxygen, so you need your fuel to be burning a lot faster and a lot harder because of the lack of oxygen. And a lot of the people and the guides and stuff that go up Mount Everest use that particular product because it's got a very, very, very good reputation. However, you could pay 200 quid for a stove, maybe a bit more by them for the dog's bollocks, or you can pay 25 pence from Temu. Who's the cunt? Yeah, me. Because I'll do my first cook on it and my gas canister will explode in a massive ball of flames and I'll be dead. Whilst you're going, looking forward to dinner at the top of this summit. Who's going to top up? In fact, let me just see if we've got a good talking point for me to just hold on to on the way over there. Tactical stove runs on every fuel known to man, including WD-40. Really? Ooh, that's what I mean. But it's going to be expensive. It's not going to be cheap, you know. But then, having said that, I do believe that if you've got something that you enjoy doing, and I mean really enjoy doing, where it's probably a little bit more than a hobby, you know, it's something that you're passionately and spiritually connected to, you know, to the point where you feel really, really benefited by it after you've done it or when you've been involved with it. It's more than a hobby, you know. So if one of those hobbies or one of those therapies, maybe is the right word, is so good for you, then it's worth investing in the best stuff. Buying good quality stuff. So if one of those, but then again, it's always going to boil down to the affordability of the individual. So if someone turns around and says, "Yeah, I love wild camping, I do," but I've got about £15 a week spare after I've paid everything off. They're not going to be able to buy one of those stoves, you know. But we need to still try and do everything we possibly can to try and stay connected to the things that we love doing as much as we possibly can. So make the most of your income, and if you can spare a bit of money towards what's left of what money you've got towards contributing towards improving and bettering and continuing to enjoy the things that make you feel happy and peaceful. I'm learning great diesel heater tips. Yeah, do you know what I need to do though, Michael? I need to get an exhaust extension. See, innuendos, they keep creeping in there like little cunts that I don't want, you know. So I want to be alone. No, not in there. So I'm like that. I need to get a new kind of an exhaust to add onto my petrol generator, right? So it comes out of the petrol generator, and I drill through the wall, get through the wall with an extension from the generator. Otherwise, I'll die from carbon monoxide poisoning. But I've got to get it out of there and through there to make it safe. You know. But I need to find out what the diameter is, and I don't know what it is yet. I've not measured it up. But they are very, 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 very efficient. Me, because I've already bought it. It runs on every diesel. How much was it? Van life. That is what. No one cares about anything else that comes out of your mouth now, apart from how much did it cost? Can I afford one? Because that's what I'm thinking. But then, having said that, a Kelly kettle. Most people can get their hands on sticks and twigs and dried leaves and anything that will burn anything. And a Kelly kettle will not only cook your food, but it will also boil the water at the same time, at exactly the same time. So can you outsell that stove over a Kelly kettle that you can literally just pick up twigs and sticks or even maybe some alcohol burner that you can sort of fit in the middle? You know, it's a proper full-on hardcore motherfucker of a cooking method that will last forever. Kelly kettles are incredible. I'm a stove junkie's not going to lie. Yeah, well, like I said, I've got 10. I think I've got 10, but then I've got more because I've got what if this one breaks? So I've probably got about 15, maybe something like that. In fact, you know, one of the best. Check this out. I've got a feeling that any ladies might think, I'm going to switch off now. It's boy talk, but this applies to you too, right? So this was a combination of a Swedish army cook system and an Austrian, Norwegian. It's an exact splice between the two. You can't get hold of them anymore because it was just a bunch of people about 15 years ago, and they just thought these two go together fucking perfect. They're not exactly compact, but very, very, very practical. And this is what got me into loads of other stoves, and maybe gave me a bit more of a kick up the arse as far as bushcraft was concerned and wild camping, and yeah, you know. But I had to get my own strap on. It's not what you think. When I say my own strap on, I bought this buckle and several more because I bought a shitload of this, which is equivalent to like seatbelt material, tough stuff. So I bought meters and meters of this stuff, and then quite a lot of these, so I can make loads. I can cut this stuff off, in a straight line, then go along with a lighter so you melt off all the straggly bits so that it's not going to ever fray. Let me just get a lighter, fuck's sake. You'll like this. So this strap material I've used on loads of other bits of kit as well, and it is really good. It's worth buying in, and it also fits through this section as well, which is why I bought this specific diameter. So anyway, instead of aluminium, which is not good, because every time you stir your food in an aluminium pot, you've got trace aluminium going in to your food, as well as trace aluminium that you're getting into your lungs from the planes that are giving off these long trails, these chemtrails. There's aluminium in that. That's coming down into the fields that are growing the food that you're eating. So it's going into the vegetables and the fruit. You're getting aluminium. It's fucking deadly. It's a neurotoxin. So if you're ever curious about why you've got so many cunts around you, it's probably because they're not purifying their water and they're eating shit. So try and, reduce the chances of you becoming a cunt. So it comes in 3 parts. Well, four. So that's a separate system. That's it. Norwegian and Swedish. Separate. The Swedish. Stainless steel. And then that. And then this. Oh, nearly. Thought a bit drip out of my hand there. Still got. That's how good. I've not used this for a long time, and that's how good the seal was on this. Is that none of the alcohol came out of this. So that you put that down like that. That is your alcohol burner. Goes under there. And that goes on top of there. It's very secure. If you want to use alcohol. However, they were designed a specific way that not if, when you run out of alcohol to go underneath there to cook your food or boil your water, becomes a paperweight. You can then put that on there, cook your food, or boil your water to make it safe by building a fire underneath there and stick feeding it from the front. And I have demonstrated a very similar setup in previous videos and shorts, videos and shorts. Oh, I'll sort all that out in the morning. I've already made my bed up over there so I can chill. Well, yeah, there's been quite a few comments on the food prep haul videos that I've done where people have gone, you've got all these beans, but you've got no water, and then you've got no water and a grid down. You've got no fuel. I've covered every single aspect of city prepping that you can think of. Every single one. You just need to go back. They're just not in order. You know? I've got every single angle that I can think of covered. I'm in a position now where I can live outside the system. How I got to that situation was through tragedy. But I am in that situation. My only nemesis now is the system coming to try and take control of me, and that's a hill I'll die on. It's raining. I'm glad I closed that roof earlier on, because I was just thought, oh, that sounds lovely. Then I wake up and I'm like up to there in water, you know. Not pleasant, not a pleasant way to wake up. I missed it. I haven't got a diesel heater yet. Michael, I'll give you one. No, I'll give you a diesel heater. I've got a spare one. You can have it. I just don't know how to get it going. But I've got an e-dispatcher which is bulletproof, and that's based on what I've read so far. If I can run a diesel heater off vegetable oil, if that's possible, then even then, you know, there's going to be a limit on the production of that as well. So you're going to need to try and find ways of acquiring that. Again, some people will be thinking, oh, you're way too far into the future there, Terry. You know, calm the fuck down. I think so far ahead, and then so far ahead of that, it's fucking exhausting. Titanium is definitely something I would recommend to everyone, because it'll outlive you, it'll outlive your grandkids, it'll outlive your great grandkids. Titanium's the dog's bollocks. I mean, titanium in your body is not good because it's so fucking strong, it's so powerful. But if you use, say, a plastic spoon, or not plastic, just something, maybe I think stainless steel would do, or yeah, stainless steel to use as a spork with titanium cookware, you're not going to scratch that titanium off. That's not going to go in your body. Yet, titanium is some of the stuff that's being sprayed from the skies. You're inhaling that, which can break the blood-brain barrier. So titanium cookware is highly recommended if you just go wild camping or long distance backpacking. That's it as far as titanium is concerned. So if you're bugging out, titanium, if you want to carry as minimum weight on your back as possible, because every gram counts, then titanium cookware is highly recommended. But if you're planning to bug in and you want to be using cooking equipment in your home and you're defending your home to the hilt, then I wouldn't recommend titanium for long-term use. I'd recommend cast iron. It's a damn sight cheaper. But for wild camping and serious hikers, titanium is the dog's bollocks. It's just not cheap. It's very expensive. Beautiful kit, stainless or titanium anyway for bushcraft gear. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Always stainless steel and cast iron for me. They're heavy, but titanium is so expensive. I do have a titanium spork. Oh, Michael, I've got a titanium. Oh my god. You see, I feel sorry for the ladies because I feel like a lot of the ladies are kind of missing out here. And they're just listening to the boys talking boy talk. And I think one of the main reasons for that is because we don't really understand periods and shopping. Well, that sounded so sexist. Oh man, you know, I want to just show you my. Oh no, I think I took it home. I know I did. I took it home, Michael, for our next wild camp. So it's a proper official Light My Fire titanium spork. So, but to anyone that's new to, another thing that maybe you should invest in is something like that, a gripper. Again, in Nottingham, a gripper can mean other things. So a spork, my Light My Fire official titanium spork, which I do love. It is very lightweight and very tough. It's ready for our next wild camp, brother. But that's what a spork is. It's a knife, a fork, and a spoon. Sport. Got an NI 301 DPM and all the Gore-Tex Basher bivvy bag need to save weight now. Huh? Oh, mate, I love that. Again, I do feel like we're leaving the ladies out a bit here because, you know, this is, but again, this is a really, really good thing. It's a good thing. I had Sal's daughter and her then husband here about 5 years ago, 6 years, no, about 6 years ago. And he said, what do you do? Oh, we go for walks. It just didn't comprehend. They couldn't comprehend it. It didn't register. And he was a shallow fuck. There are lots and lots of shallow, very shallow people out there that don't understand. I don't understand men that don't want to get making a fire from start and cooking over a flame, and I don't understand men that don't feel the urge to do that, to be able to acquire dry firewood when it's been pissing it down for fucking days. I don't understand men that don't want to get back to basics, do basic stuff, primeval stuff. You know, on top of protecting their women and their kids. Oh dear. But yeah, that's very, very very technical comment there, Van Lifer. I keep looking at my van and thinking, should I flog it as it is? Or is there a reason why I bought it? Should I get rid of this car and use that van, get it fixed up, get it done, get it working, and start using it? You know? But it's not really runabout material. It's not. I'm just nipping into town material. It's a fucking motorhome. So what do I do? And on the way here, for the first time in a long time, I saw something that me and Sal had, and we went camping in. We loved it. Pictures of a Bedford Bambi. And I saw one of these by the side of the road. It just got out for a piss, I think, you know. You can't really appreciate it. If you get a chance, look up a Bedford Bambi. It's like someone taking a motorhome where you've got an overhead cab where you sleep, and then putting it in the tumble dryer, not reading the label, and shrinking the fucking thing down. Right down. That's a Bedford Bambi. Like 1,000 cc. So there's part of me wishing that I bought one of them instead, you know, but it's trying to work out whether or not I should sell it as it is and take a massive loss, or get it running and truly understand whether or not it was a good investment or not. because it does have a lot of things about it that a lot of camper vans and motorhomes don't have, including the ability to run off vegetable oil, because they are making additives. They are. Think of if you were one of these sinister cunts out there, right? You would think, right, how can we slowly bring society to a halt in a way where people aren't going to be paying attention, other than people like you and me? I know. Let's start messing around with the mixture of the fuel of their vehicles, for starters, and start adding more and more sinister shit to their drinking water, knowing that the vast majority of people don't filter their water in any way, shape, or form. After World War II, there was a I just made a little click in my head. After World War II, or at least towards the end of it, there was a Jewish guy who had quite a following, who wanted to poison the water of Berlin. Please feel free to look this up. And fortunately, that plan was thwarted at the last minute. So, all was okay. But I can imagine that a big chunk of the Berliners were just believing what propaganda was fed down their throat. Most of them would have preferred no war. And the Jews had to endure nothing like what is being put across to people in mainstream education. Nothing like that. However, you still ended up with one of these dark motherfuckers wanting to wipe out millions of innocent people, women, children, whatever. We're all in it together, man. We leave nobody behind. Like-minded people. I like that. I like that a lot, because I do think that like-minded people, it has become I was going to say a brotherhood, but that would, women would think, oh, I'm not, it includes them too. It's something very special when you start to see and feel people around you that think like you do, in the realm of reality, as opposed to a programmed, precursored reality that people are experiencing now. It's not reality. It's not. So when you live in reality and you bump into people that are in the same real fucking place as you are, you feel an instant bond. It's very special. I think I've said before, it's, if ever there was a silver lining, it's that. And that's growing exponentially. It really is. Oh, is useless fun. Can keep you alive. Yeah, it's still home. Can't beat a van. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Paul and van life. I reckon you eventually, if we carried this on for another 2 hours, you two are going to want to get a fucking room. But the weird part is I'll be in there with you. The Sooty van, I know, mate. Oh, van life. I'm so fucking chuffed, man. I really am. Me and Sal had that for about 2 years. We had so much fun in that. We went to the Lake District and so many happy memories. And you know what? The only reason we didn't have it anymore is because one little cunt, and for someone that never remembers names, it's locked in there, ready for the right day. So a police officer divulged his information to me. So the possibility of a good cop who knew his hands were tired. You do what you need to do, Terry. He's a cunt. So that name is logged in there. So someone tried to break into our Bedford Bambi on the driveway and wrote it off in the process because there was only like 1,000 made. So his name's in there, it's still in there, you know. He was a proper menace to society and never taken care of, you know. Jail, whatever. Bit more jail, whatever. Petty crimes, little times. That's it. People like that need to be removed. Love you, and I will never own a car. Oh, do you know what, mate? I love my van, and it just guts me every time I walk past it. Oh, super silly, Lou. It's super silly. I'm so sorry. That came out wrong. It's a tongue twister. Super Lily Lou. I apologise if you've been listening in the background to all the boy talk about boy things, and I apologise if I was, yeah. We need to make sure that it's kind of approachable and relatable to all sexes, all two. Got myself one of them lifesavers jerry can, 20,000 litre, like a 3 litre a day clean for 2 people. Oh, van life, can you? I think I know what you're on about. That specific product. Again, you know, when you look at Sawyer Mini, but then we're still putting a lot of trust into these brand names. A lot. The bigger they get, the more investment they get. The more investment they get, the more they need to satisfy the investors. The more they need to satisfy the investors, the cheaper the product is made, the less worth it has. Does it do what it says on the tin anymore? Man, you make my evening awesome, guy, for sure. Just thought I'd put it out there. That's a very kind thing to say, Matty. Thank you. That's very kind. Found out yesterday you can filter water with a strip of copper, and copper is incredible, and so is silver for purifying water. Anything that's very highly conductive of electricity, please do a deep dive in that, because nature provides everything you need. In fact, you're already what you need. You are. And strip of zinc, put them in a copper pot, leave overnight and your water is safe to drink. What a shock that was. And the irony of you ending that with what a shock that was is all about conductivity and electrolytes. So not only does it purify the water, but then you do need to add salt, you know, because they can't add salt to that. There's different minerals that we need. All of these minerals are being purposely left out of food. It's fortified with this, fortified with that. It's bad, 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 bad. Anything that says fortified. Leave overnight and I've got one of those van life. It's one of my pride and joys. Saving it for future use. I love that. I love that. You see, we all get inspired, but then a lot of us are thinking outside the box and thinking, right, I need to research this, I need to research that, I need to get the best for this, the best for that. It's all about planning forward. And so few people are doing that. It's not good. It's not. Again, be discreet. Please do some research on the street. Oh, Massey's got a conscience, and I love that too. Got a live straw in the bag, but the jerry can is a mustard, mate. Yeah. Yeah, those live straws, I don't know. How will you know they're not working anymore? This is why it's good to be able to double up something like a Sawyer Mini, double that up with a particulate meter you can buy for a tenner, for a half decent one, a tenner. Then you can test that water, you know, before, after the Sawyer Mini. But then Sawyer Minis, like most filters, won't filter out chemicals. Got our work cut out with those chemicals because, you know, we could say, well, at least we can rely on the rain. When they're spraying, I came here, I looked up at the sky, I offloaded everything into the van, out the car, and then came out, let the girls have a bit of a run and a shit. Crisscross everywhere. Everywhere. And that's getting into our rainwater, you know. We can never, ever, ever allow that to become normal. Never, ever, ever shut your fucking mouth. If you care. Several ways to purify water now. Yeah, exactly. You would have thought outside the box, Michael. You know, we have to. We really do. After 2 days without any water, 2 days, you are not going to be stringing things together properly. 2 days. 3 days, you're going to be no use to yourself or anyone around you. 3, 4 weeks without food. I've seen it happen. So make water your priority if you can. So you spot on there, Paul. Water is life. It is. And you know, when I took the girls out for a little walk earlier on because they were a bit bored, they've not been out much today. I wanted to try and make sure that what I've planted up and stuff could survive a very, very warm weekend that I wasn't anticipating. I thought, well, so the last year, I brought the fans down out of the loft to keep me and the girls cool during the night for 2 nights. That was summer gone. Nature with us know how to take care of us. Do you know what? I wish more people just looked a bit more back. You know, on the way here, I had this. It wasn't a bonkers thought, really. I was thinking, you know, when women used to give birth at home, and they would be surrounded by other women that had experience of helping people give birth. Again, this isn't necessarily random. Now we've lost that. Women are giving birth to kids in hospitals where they're having the umbilical cord cut way too soon. They're not left in contact with the placenta for long enough. All of these things are happening for a reason. We need to go back. There's, you know, all of the medicines we need are all found in nature. The only things that we've not got a combat for, as far as nature is concerned, is artificial illnesses put on us, because there aren't any cures for that shit. Whilst I was trying to balance out getting set up with the girls wanting to run rampant, but two caravans away having a dog that these two will eat. I was walking around, so I had to get the girls into the van whilst I was trying to set everything up and get organised. And as I was walking around, just this caravan, just this one caravan in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a field, I identified 9 different plants that I could eat. 9 around a fucking caravan. very tempted to do a torchlight tour around the caravan and show you them. Nah, I might make that a separate video. And again, this channel is going to come to a close. I think it's run its course. I don't want this channel to turn into some fucking news channel. You look at all these prepping channels that used to be prepping channels, and they've all turned into news channels with news that we already know, you know. And then to turn around and say, if you want to support my channel, or you know, whatever, you're offering nothing. So my plan is to go through loads of different stove options, because I think that's quite important, from the most absolute basic stove that you can create flatbread on, or cook anything, purify water, you know, kill bacteria. But then you can get soy minis for that, but then they're going to run their course eventually. So do a stove video, and then a walk through of the garden again, of where things have just fucked completely up, and where I need to make improvements, and show you what improvements I'm going to make, based on the fact that when I've said I'm going to do something, I've done it. And then leave the channel to die as a reference channel. And just leave it at that, because there's nothing left to give. People know what food to buy. People know that foraging is very important, and that it can literally save your life if you've got no money, and if you're trying to operate outside of this digital entrapment system, which is what it is. If people are trying to come up with new ways, I've depleted. There's just nothing else left to. It's like genres of music, you know. Every genre has been explored, from drums around a campfire to classical music to drum and bass. Everything's been done. So some things need to come to a very natural end in order for something new to begin. Whatever that new is anyone's guess. Yeah, water is your. You see, and again, so when people have put into the bean video and other videos that talk about dehydrated food that needs to be rehydrated to eat, stupid questions. From people that haven't thought outside the box. They're either too lazy or they can't, you know, they haven't got the cognitive ability to think outside the box. When one of the first, or one of the, at least one of the first few videos that I ever put out was a rainwater catchment system. You just can't be asked to look. It can't be asked. There's no inquisitive nature about these fucking cunts that are holding the rest of humanity back. But yeah, water is definitely right up there. It is your main priority, and it's doable. And I've always said, if you struggle, just if you live in a high-rise apartment, and you think I need to get more water, or I need to have a backup system in case the water doesn't come to my flat or anything like that, just email me. We'll find a way. There's always a way. I'll try and help you. I've always done this for free. I've always tried to do the right thing. We should always be helping each other. Yeah. There's so many things you can use for first aid as well with plants and stuff. Please look into these plants, or look through some of my old videos. There's loads of people out there that are putting out videos on medicinal plants, and then try and maybe do, because Google does tell the truth sometimes. Try and find out what the 10 most important plants are to grow, and it'll tell you. It'll tell you. Then do a bit more research off those results to know. Find crude ways of doing it. Try and learn to make your own charcoal. It's not hard. Are the sky blue in colour? What are the size of the fuel jerry cans? Got no idea. I went 3 days without food because of a reaction to. Oh, that's not good. That you're allergic to antibiotics, mate. You're gonna have to. I'm assuming you've got the Green Pharmacy book already. I hope so, mate, because you're going to need to find alternatives if you are allergic to antibiotics. I didn't lose my appetite, but I couldn't hold anything down. It was a hint of what might become the norm going forward. Yeah, I mean, look at the Lone Star tick. That's been they've taken something that's quite normal and natural as far as a tick is concerned and the way that it reacts with people. So most ticks, you do run the risk of Lyme's disease. Whereas being allergic to bovine is a massive fucking hit. Massive. Which is where you get most of your vitamin B12 from, which is where folic acid will hit you because of a lack of that. Yeah, the UN using them in disaster areas are very, very suspicious, mate. Good night, Paul. I'm sure I've missed you. I'm a fucker for it. Good. It's a good book. It's the best book. I've had to soak the fuck out of all of my growing plants at home, knowing that this is going to be a hot weekend. You know, me, I'm like, it's too hot. Fuck off. You know, I love the heat. But knowing I've got so many plants growing at home that could dehydrate and fail, I've had to soak the shit out of all of them. And again, this all comes from learning and fucking up. And then learning and fucking up. You know, you have to fuck up. It's important you fuck up. Don't take any of this from textbooks and neighbours, and you got to learn yourself in every single aspect of life. You got to fuck up. I think I just think that's all part of us becoming what we're supposed to be, you know. The hard way is the best way. I mean, I'm going to do a video of a little tour through my garden like I do every year, this time of year. And I'm going to show you so many fuck ups because sometimes things can't be predicted. We have to try and learn as best we can. And that generally comes from fucking up. But then doing a bit of research into this, a bit of research into that, and trying to figure it out so that you can do better the following year. But either way, I'm going to sign off and listen to the river and find some peace. And I strongly suggest that everyone else tries to do the same. Find your way. Remember all those things that made you happy, all of those things that made you feel peaceful. Get back in touch with them. And if you've never had any, find some. I guarantee you'll find them in nature. You will, because it's where you belong. Yeah, me too. Soaked everything. Will be away for a week after all that looking after seedlings. Yeah, it is a concern. It's like leaving your babies behind to die. But But I've done everything. I've moved so many things into shade and all sorts of stuff just to come away, you know. And I'm sure that you were the same. You know, it's because we care and we know that it's important to learn to grow stuff for ourselves, so that we've got some level of proper nutrition going into us. And we're all going to learn as we go along. And the best way to learn is by fucking up. It really is. So on that note,